What's up, guys? I appreciate y'all joining me today. Today we're going to talk about how to find top dead center on your engine while it's on the engine stand. It's very important and it's very easy to do. Follow along. Here you go. How to find top dead center. All right, so we're getting this thing set up. So we're fixing to do the green. You can see I got the degree wheel on it. This is one of the small ones. I know a lot of the professional engine builders, they use the great big ones that are about twice that diameter. And what that does, it does make it a little easier to read, especially the older you get. What it does is it just makes these further apart. The further this is out, the wider that 10 degrees separation is. So that's why, you can't do it. I guess you could, in theory, do it on your harmonic balancer if you have a 360 degree marked harmonic balancer, but that could be probably a little close. And I've already set this up the way I do it to find top dead center. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the motor counterclockwise, and I'm going to go 100 thousandths down in the hole, and then I'll take the measurement on the degree wheel, and so then I'll spin it over. It'll go up past top dead center, and then it'll go back down in the hole 100 thousandths, and then I'll take another measurement. And the distance exactly in the middle of those is 100% top dead center, because what'll happen is when you're doing top dead center, if you're just looking at it and looking at the micrometer, depending on the stroke of the crankshaft and depending on the length of the connecting rod, you have dwell. And so dwell is the period of time that the piston remains at top dead center. So if you can't physically look at that, you can buy, it's a stand that goes across, you bolt it to the head, and then it has something that comes down, and it's a piston stop. And so basically you do the same thing. You run it down just a little bit below the deck of the surface, and then you roll the motor over, and then you take the reading, and then you roll it all the way back over 360 degrees, take that reading, and then directly in the middle of that is your top dead center. So I mean, it's pretty easy to do. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. And so what I'm gonna do, this actually corresponds, this zero actually corresponds with my harmonic balancer down there. I've done this before, and so I know that my marker, you see my custom timing pointer, custom done by me about 10 years ago, just some type of screw 5 or 6 years ago. It probably wasn't that long. And I think this was for a bigger harmonic balancer, so there again, using what I got, you see it doesn't really space real correctly, but it works good. So we're gonna stick this, I got a piece of TIG rod and a bolt. I'm gonna put it in here, screw it in this, tighten it down, cut it off. And you gotta have a real secure timing pointer to go on this. So when I'm gonna tighten this down, and then I'll bend this out and cut it off, and that'll go on zero. Gotta find top dead center first. And so once I find it, then I'll put this on zero, and then let me show you how it goes. Okay, so I got this thing marked. So right now the piston is down in the hole, still before top dead center. It's about 100 thousandths, so this is gonna go, I'm gonna get this on zero. Very gently tap it. You always wanna go a little past where you're at when you're coming back. So you don't wanna be on like the backstroke. If I would've been going 100 thousandths going left, then you have slap in your timing belt. So right there, I'm at 12 degrees. So I'm 100 thousandths down in the hole. And then when you look on this, it's at 12 degrees. So now, I'm gonna go back, piston's coming up, still going clockwise. And now I'm getting close to top dead center. And this is very precise, so you have to kind of take your time. This is one of those things you can't go super fast on. So now I'm at that dwell point of the piston, and you can see I'm at like 2 degrees before zero. So now, and my harmonic balancer is showing the same thing. I'm gonna keep going, and if you notice, I've moved it 2 degrees, and so now I'm a little bit past zero, and I'm still on zero on the dial indicator. So the piston still has not moved. It has not moved down yet, even though it is turning. So that's the dwell I was talking about. So it should go about another 1 or 2 degrees before it starts going down. And it just started right there, and I'm right on, 1 or 2, about 1 degree, half a degree, 3/4 degree. So now I'm gonna go 100 down. And so now the piston is going down in the hole, and I'm close, so I'm gonna bump it real slow. You don't want to go by it. I'm right on it. I just went by it just a tad. And so now I'm on 0 again up here, and I'm on 11 here. So what was I on a second ago? 12? So I am within 1 degree of top dead center where my marker is right now. And so I always usually do it a couple times just to make sure. So I'm gonna go back. So now I'm back at top dead center, which is what I read. So now I'm gonna go back again. So I went a couple about 5 thousandths past. I'm gonna take up the slap. Oh, I didn't go far enough. Went by. So let's go 25 thousandths past. Let's do this one more time. So you want to catch it when it first gets it. So there it goes. That is perfect. So that is right on 12. So there again. So I'm right on 12. It's in between 11 and 12. It's closer to 12 though. So it is 12. So that's 12. So I'm gonna keep going. Top dead center. Coming back. You don't want to go by it if you can. So that's dead on 0. And so I'm right there perfectly on 11. So if you look, it's close to 12 there. So if you look at this point here, so it's dead on 11 and it was on 12 on this side. So the 100% top dead center of this right now is in the middle of those two. So when you add those two together, 12 and 11, you get 23. So then 23 divided by 2 is 11 and a half. So 11 and a half degrees from here is 0. So I'm within a half a degree, not 1 degree. I'm only 1 degree off total. So it's within a half a degree. That's pretty close. I don't know that I can get a half a degree better. So I'm pretty close. I mean, a half a degree I can live with. I don't know about y'all, but y'all may be different. So now I'm going to go back again. So we know my marker is dead on. So I went by my 0. So I'm going to go by about 10 degrees. And then I'm going to come by again. So with this thing, and I know we said a half a degree before it gets to 0. So like right there is 100% top dead center without moving my pin. And then when you look at my marker on my crankshaft that I have, it's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can block some light without destroying everything. So you can see that is pretty close. It is, when I'm looking down at it, that is dead on when I've got a timing light flashing on it. So that's how you make sure that you find top dead center. So that is 100% the easiest thing to do with the head off. Verifying top dead center is probably one of the most critical steps in engine building that people miss, that people simply do not do. They take it for granted that the keyway is in the proper location and the harmonic balancer is properly marked. Most motors now also have adjustable timing pointers. So without doing this step, it is impossible to set your timing pointer so you can verify ignition timing. We know how critical timing is on these engines. Miss it by a couple degrees and it's catastrophic. You can also use a piston stop to verify top dead center if the head is on the car. But it's more problematic, and from my experience, it's a little less accurate. It is definitely more difficult to do. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all joining along and let me show you how I find top dead center on these engines. Not difficult to do, but worth the time. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like and comment if you've got any questions or suggestions. But the most important thing to do is hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get some notifications. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Go fast and get some win likes.